My name is Ephraim Jacob Inawudo, a teacher at Comprehensive Secondary School, back here in Ephraim State. Now, I program lessons for IDP children of internally displaced, that are in displaced camp. And I want this lesson to go as far as training them since they will have no access to education. It is structured, sent online, and also in person as far as we can. So today we want to look at basic science. And the other day we look at matter. We said matter is anything that has weight or mass and can occupy space. And today we want to look at two major divisions of matter, and that is living things and non-living things. Living things and non-living things. Living things are those ones that have life, whereas non-living things do not have life. And we want to look at some characteristics of living things so that I can also give some example. Number one characteristic of living thing is that living things can move. They can move about. They can move from place to place. Living things can move. They can move. The second one is living things can respire. They can take in air, and send out air. For instance, living thing can take in oxygen and send out carbon dioxide. Living things can respire. The next characteristic is living things can reproduce their kind. They can give birth to their own kind. For instance, human beings can give birth to their kind, like animals, like cats, like dogs. They can reproduce their kind, they can give birth. That is a living thing. Living thing can respond to external stimuli. That is irritability. They can respond. You touch, something is touching me. They can respond to external stimuli. Living things, all living things can die. They can die. Living thing will live. After a time, it will die. They have the capacity to die after some time. So living things can die. Living things can reproduce their kind. Living things can move from place to place. Living things can respire. And again, living things can grow. They can grow. See them, what we call growth is increase in size. You see, living things can actually grow. They can increase in size. Now, like we have in some rocks can grow, but that's not a living thing. Now, we know that the growth in rock is actually a chemical program that is going on in that rock. Rock is not a living thing, though it can grow because of chemical processes that are going on in the rock. So, but all living things can grow, all living things can die, all living things can reproduce their kind, living things, can move from place to place, they can respire. These are some of the characteristics of living things. Again, the non-living things cannot do any of these things. They cannot reproduce their kind, they cannot grow, they cannot move from place to place, they cannot, respire, they cannot respond to external stimuli. These are non-living things. So example of living things are human beings, cats, dog, trees, they're all living things. Fish, they're living things. And some examples of non-living things are something like table, something like sand, rock, what we're wearing, shed. They're all non-living things. They can move, they can reproduce their kind, and we class them under non-living. So matter can actually be divided into living things and what? Non-living things. This is very important. This is another major classification of matter into two broad, sections: the living things and the non-living things. That is very true. Thank you so very much.